We're live. It's another live on Tuesday. I'm going to be good about this. We're going to get them all out. Boom, 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 boom. Today, we will be doing a live with Tammy Johnston, and she is going to be talking to us about business systems. So let me go ahead and there we go. So we're going to be talking about business systems today. Hey, Diane. Andrea. Thanks for joining. How's everyone doing today? Hi, welcome in everybody. Today we're going to be talking about business systems for artists to help with life and business. I've gone ahead and invited Tammy. She's going to be helping us with this live today. She's a business coach. Hey, Jackie, how are you today? Hey, Kat, thanks for coming. Thanks for all the hearts. Appreciate you guys. So just to quickly go over while we wait for Tammy. So business systems are simply things in place that we document to make sure that our day-to-day jobs are, written out and organized and, hey, Kat. Hey, Tammy. Everything's organized in our day-to-day life so that we try to do these systems and have these systems in place so that it makes it easier, that we're not constantly, not micromanaging, but not in every single thing all the time constantly. If there's some business systems, we can either automate or sometimes people will give it to another company, but depending on where you are at in your business, you may want to try to automate as much as you can first before you ask a third party to help. So we're just going to talk about different things that help us with all of that. Oh, let me see. There's Tammy. Let's go live. Here we go. Should be adding her. Oh, did it work? I said accept. Go live. There we go. I thought I was going crazy there for a second. I'm like, I hit yes. If you hit the flip camera, it'll show you.
There we go. I'm old and I'm having to learn all this new technical stuff. So my brain is being stretched this morning. But believe it or not, the blonde figured it out with your help. Thank you.
You can't make me laugh. I'll go into a coughing fit. Hi, how are you today?
Well, now that we figured out the technical part where you're actually seeing me and I'm in, this is awesome.
See? It's not so bad, right? I tell people all the time, it's not scary, I promise.
The recording and the talking is never scary, but learning the new technology, because until I've actually gotten in and I know how it works, it's like, okay, a little bit of heart palpitation.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. If anything, I would have just kept going until we figured it out. I can give you some time. I'll keep going.
No, it's all good. We're here.
We're doing it. All right. Okay. So I was just letting everybody know that we were meeting today to talk about business systems for artists, because a lot of times, at least for me personally, there's all this advice everywhere about what to do, what not to do, and it can get very overwhelming. So writing everything out and having a system in place for things, possibly automated if it's automated, is very, very helpful. So that's why I wanted to meet with you today. So if you don't mind introducing yourself, and then we can kind of start getting into all that.
So I'm Tammy Johnston, and my business is KSA Business. My clients name me the Hold Your Hand and Kick Your Ass Business Coach.
I love that.
So I've been working with small businesses of all types, sizes, and sorts for over 20 years, but I specialize in working with solopreneurs as early in their journey as possible, preferably idea stage up to 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm on a mission to fix the drastically scary and horrible and unnecessary failure rate of new businesses.
Yeah.
Because I work on teaching them the basic foundational business skills that they need to first survive and then thrive. And artists, if you want to be making money, you want to make it a business, you have to learn those business skills. Otherwise, you have a very expensive hobby.
Yeah. essentially, yeah, exactly. So, and that's the hard part, is that a lot of times people will get overwhelmed, and then the imposter syndrome kicks in, where, oh, I can't do this, it's not good enough, all this, not realizing, no, you're just competing with a bunch of other people that are trying to get everyone else's attention, and they might have a better system in place than you do.
Exactly.
They might not even have a better product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of the time, they don't have a better product. Like, think about McDonald's. You ask anybody, can you make a better burger than McDonald's? And pretty much everybody will raise their hand. Well, can you make more money than McDonald's? Good luck on that front.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm all for, yes, we have to have good quality products. We need to get better that way. But if you don't have the business, you're going to be unknown. You're not going to have the money to even keep buying your supplies.
Right. Yeah, essentially. So I talked a little bit about what types of business systems that they were, because sometimes you say these things and people are like, I'm not even sure what that means. So for me, business systems, this is for me personally, is any kind of written out documentation of every day, step by step, this is how you do it. And then I was talking about how it's great, especially first starting out, if you can get some of that stuff automated, if you are because I'm a solopreneur, I do everything myself. So all the marketing, all the customer service, all the things. You know what I mean? So as much as I can, I've been in business a year and a half. I've been adding what I can do automated to help me keep up with everything, where you're not completely drowning. Like, I should have done all the things and I haven't,
Don't beat yourself up. Everybody does. And I have been running my own business for well over 20 years now, and I'm still growing and building and adding my systems and evolving the ones that I have. A simple way of looking at it, like automation and in writing and stuff, is perfect. Like, that's definitely where we want to go. But a really simple way of looking at business systems is, what are your business habits?
Right.
What are your habits?
Yeah.
And so I guarantee that everybody has some systems already, but they're not aware of them because it's just habit. So it's like, what do I want to be creating as more habits? And then, yes, if you can get it in writing, you can get it so that it's automated, bonus. But if you just think that the foundation is, what are your business habits, that helps.
Yeah, exactly. So then I guess my next question would be, from the art, you said you've helped artists in the past. Were there any specific things geared to that area that you'd say, oh, this would be very helpful to start? Where would you have someone start?
Oh, there's quite a few. This is going to sound awful, but stereotypically, the things that artists, because they're very creative and they're very spur of the moment, and when the muse hits them, then they're going to be doing stuff, which is fine when you're dealing with the creative stuff.
Yeah.
But like, one of the things I have to get my clients going, and it's all my clients, not just the artist ones, but definitely the artist ones, is getting friendly with this thing called a calendar. I'm a big fan of calendars. You can go on to like Google or any search engine and look up calendars. I have this one because the realtor in my neighborhood sent out this beautiful, great big calendar that I use. And then this other wonderful instrument known as a pencil. And actually put things into your calendar. Like, I always do my planning for the coming year in like August, September. And you want to be putting in like your big rocks. So if you're a parent with kids in school and stuff like that, one of the first things they say, get the school calendar. Get the school calendar. When do they have their PD days, all of this stuff. If you're wanting to have, like, okay, I want to have an art show, or I want to be submitting for this or a contest, what are your deadlines? What are your deadlines? Important things like your tax deadlines. When do you have to file your taxes?
Mine.
Oh, I know. When do you have to file your taxes? So when does that have to be in there? When do you have to have stuff to your accountant? I always say, I want all of my businesses to do all their own bookkeeping for the first 6 months to a year. After that, then you have a strong enough foundation that you can hand it off to a bookkeeper and all that stuff. But I want you doing all your own bookkeeping for the first 6 months to a year so that you get familiar with those numbers. You get to start to see the patterns. You get to see, okay, what is this telling me? And that's in terms of, okay, how can I get stuff cheaper? Where am I spending my money? What's my return on investment? Because a lot of people are spending, well, how much money are you spending on like Instagram ads and Facebook ads?
Right.
And stuff? Are you getting any payback for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where are your sales coming from? So getting comfortable and familiar with your numbers. So I'm going, I want you to be spending 15 to 30 minutes a week just going over your financials. If you have to do your data entry, do your data entry.
Yeah.
But spend time getting familiar with your numbers and asking yourself those questions. That goes into your calendar. It is a business habit.
Yeah.
And if it's not in your calendar, you'll forget about it, or you'll procrastinate, or you'll let something else get in the way, and then nothing happens, and then you're wondering why your business isn't growing.
Right.
So put the stuff into your calendar. And a lot of people think they don't want to look at the business stuff because it's boring, it's going to take forever. No, just little snippets at a time. It's like brushing your teeth.
In little pieces like that, exactly. Then it's not as bad as if you're looking like, oh, I'm so behind. Yeah. I have no data. I have no information. I remember when I first started, I attached Google Analytics to my website.
Yep.
And when you first open Google Analytics, let me tell you, you're like, where do I even start? Because it's so much data and it is very overwhelming. Well, over time, you start to realize this isn't that bad. I can run my numbers and I can look at my data and I can see where things are coming, like who's coming from where.
Yep.
And it makes it much easier. And it also makes it easier to focus at the end of the day on what's doing well, what's not doing well, and where to put your energy, if that makes sense. So
makes perfect sense. And then it helps you go, okay, well, I'm all bigger into going a deeper question. Well, why is that working? Like, is it the time that it's going? Is it the type of post? Why isn't this working?
Yeah.
And then you can fine tune. But it's setting up, like I said, your systems, your business habits, where you're going to be looking at things. And like you said, when you first started off with the Google Analytics, it's like there's so much stuff here I don't know what it means. But when you started putting little bits of time into learning, it got easier and better because nobody's a born artist. Like if you look at the stuff that you were drawing or whatever you were doing when you were a little kid, it sucked because you didn't have the skills. But 20, 30 years later, you've been working on those skills and you're much better at it and it's faster and stuff. So you need to be putting that little bit of timed, consistent effort into your business to be building up those things.
Right.
And like, what is your system for marketing? So a lot of people go, I need to market, but there's 29 different ways that you can market your business. 29 different ways. So do you need to do all of them? Absolutely not. And in fact, if you try to do
29,
it would take a while, but you go through. But you find, like you said, what are the things that you enjoy doing that are appropriate for you and your audience, and then you consistently do them.
Let me piggyback on that. I want to stress to start with marketing on things that you actually enjoy, because a lot of times if you're doing something that feels like pulling teeth, a lot of people feel like they need to start a podcast. I've seen that everywhere. I gotta start a podcast. Do you though? I don't know that you do. I mean, it's a great way, but if you're on the podcast and you feel like you're pulling teeth doing it, do you think people are going to listen to that? Like, so people don't have to necessarily push themselves to do things that are awkward for them, right? Like, out the gate. Yeah. I do encourage a lot of people to go a little outside their comfort zone because that's how growth happens.
Well, there's going outside of your comfort zone, and then there's, like you said, pulling teeth. Like, this is stuff I absolutely don't want to do. And, okay, you want to talk about podcasting, like, you could start your own, which is an awful lot of work. And if you don't like doing it, it's pulling teeth, you're not going to put in the work to create a good show and to do it consistently, so what's the point? But if you want to try podcasting, here's an idea. Be a guest and learn how to be a good guest. And then you could say, okay, you know what, I actually really do like this and I want to learn about it. Or go, you know what, I don't want to be a podcast host, but I like being a guest.
Yeah, I like being a guest.
I love being a guest. I absolutely love it. I have met the best people from all over the world talking about my favorite subjects. Like, it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah.
But there's people that, like, are huge, like, oh my God, I've been watching a lot of like the Instagram and the TikTok and the Facebook reels and stuff like that to get ideas, and it just blows my mind the quality of videos that these people are putting out. And sometimes it's like the production video quality because they're doing like costume changes and all of this stuff, but a lot of the time it's just because they know their subject and they're passionate about it and they've practiced to become articulate, that it's just like, you and I talking, but it's so captivating because you can tell that they like it and they've put in the work.
Yeah, that they care about it. That's important to them. So that's why I wanted to talk with you today, because it's like, I really want, you know, so many artists have been asking me, I want to know more about the business side, the back end, that kind of thing. Tell me more about that, because they're already talented.
Yep.
They have the talent, they have that. And so for them, it's like, okay, well, how do I move forward? So if I was an artist coming to you and saying, okay, I need to get started, you're saying, okay, start with a calendar. Write out your day, write out your habits, you know, do it, make sure you know what you're doing every day. And then what would maybe the next thing that you'd recommend to them?
So figure out what marketing arms that you're going to work with. I say typically you want to do a maximum of 3.
Okay.
Maximum. You start with 1. You get good at it. Then you can add another. Because so many people, oh, I need to market. So they do the shotgun approach, spray and pray, and then they wonder why it doesn't work.
Right.
So you need, like I said, maximum 3. You start with 1. Okay, you know what? We're on Instagram. There's people that are amazing at Instagram. Okay, how can we do our marketing consistently? Next one. How are you learning to market? Because a lot of people, and this is the vast majority across the board, they're technicians. They're technically very good at what they do. They're good artists. They produce beautiful art.
Right.
But they don't have the ability to speak to the people that would be interested in buying it. So I'm going, you need to be having a system where you are doing concentrated learning every single day, little snippets. So like a few years ago, I went and I spoke at the National Professional Photographers Association for their convention. Beautiful convention. And so they had speakers and breakout sessions for like 3 solid days. There was me and one other person talking about the business side. Everybody else is like, they're talking about like, how do you pose people and lighting and Photoshop and all the technical. Those ones were full. But I'm going, you guys are professional photographers that know nothing about how to sell. And trying to get them to a business session, it's like, but it's not fun. So you need to be putting in, like I said, 15 minutes a day on marketing knowledge and business knowledge. So I always teach people, I said, and I'm hard when I'm doing one-on-one consult, so they'll tell me about what they do, and I'm going, so why do I care? So why do I care?
Yeah.
If you want me to buy your stuff, you want me to part with my time and my money, why do I care? What makes this valuable to me as your potential customer?
Yeah.
As your potential customer, and then making sure when you're going through and you're taking a look at your marketing, and you also need to have a system where you're going through and having as dispassionate view as possible, because part of the problem is we're passionate about our work, but our potential customers aren't until we connect with them and show them why they should care from their point of view. But having somebody else be able to take a look at your stuff and go, okay, well, what am I missing here? I want you to be harsh on me, because your potential customers are going to be the harshest. And here's the other thing. We can't proofread our own stuff, because our brain knows what it's supposed to be, and our brain will automatically fix it, so we can't see our typos and our mistakes. Where I can proofread other people's stuff, no problem. My nitpicky eye will come out. But mine, it's invisible. So even
it is good. I usually, like, for if I do email marketing, or if I do because I have my emails, that's one business system, right? Is your emails, and you send them out, you have people that join, and you go through that. And so I'll usually read my emails out loud and then have someone else read my emails.
There's great ways of doing it. I said I love that, but you have to go through yours, and It said always have somebody else take a look.
Yeah.
And okay, so what is my system? So okay, if I'm going to my marketing for the next week or the next month, like I said, I try to plan my stuff out a year in advance. So then I can said, what are the themes and stuff that I want to be talking about, or around holidays, like so that you're doing things at the right time. So if you're talking to people about, okay, you want to buy some art for Christmas. Well, if you're only starting to talk about the December 15th, you've missed the boat.
You're done. Yeah. And that's something that I very much crash course learned when I started Crafter, because I was like, I need to be advertising way before. And it's given me a new appreciation. You know how people are like, I can't believe the stores are already showing us stuff for Easter. And I'm like, because they need to. Because you need time to show people, hey, this is coming up. Don't you want to decorate your house cute? Yeah. You don't want to wait until the day before. Plus, there's an added thing for Crafter where we do two things, right? So we have people do commissions, right? So what that means is someone can send an art request to one of our artists, say, I'd love you to make this for me. Great. Okay. So you need time for that artist to make it for you and then send it to you, right? We have the live art showings where people can buy already made artwork, which is different because then they just send it to you, which is faster. But I try to stress to people, they're like, oh, I really want to buy something. I'm like, buy it now. You need time to have it where it makes sense.
And there's also the fact that, especially as we get older and stuff, have you noticed that you blink and 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years have gone by?
Yes.
Especially when we have kids, I'm going, I don't age, but my daughter went from like 20 months to 20 years like this, and I'm going, how did that happen? So people need the time to process.
Yeah. So
it's like you want to be putting things in at the right time, and this is what, like you said, I love the paper calendars. Like this group is good, but I like the ones where I can print out and I can like literally have the entire year in front of me, so that I can have that big view and go, okay, when do I need to be putting my marketing out? What marketing things do I need to be talking?
If I lose power, I'm sorry. I should be fine on my phone, but if it goes dark, it's the middle of the day. It's not even raining outside.
We all need to keep talking.
That's funny. Yeah, I have a paper calendar and I also have a digital calendar. Obviously, for when people do, add meetings and stuff, then it just automatically posts.
Well, I use my digital calendar. I live by my digital calendar, but that's for like the day-to-day, the appointments, the deadlines. Yeah. I use the paper calendar for my planning.
For life.
Well, yeah, for planning, because like I said, and a pencil, because I'm going, okay, well, I want to do a show, like I do classes and stuff, so I'm going, okay, and I have a few networking groups that I'm very big in, so I'm going, okay, I want to put when those things are, and then when am I doing my classes, so this means that, okay, my marketing needs to be out at this time, so okay, I need to have my stuff put together, and simple little things like reminders for updating.
Yeah.
So, for example, I just taught a class on the weekend, so we need to make sure that either myself or my assistant goes on after, like the Monday afterwards, and updates the website so that somebody comes to the website and we're taking bookings for March 2021. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to update all my copy and all my writing and all my pictures on my homepage, because it was all get our holiday shopping guide and things like, well, Christmas is over. You don't want to see that anymore. You got to update that.
But I emailed as a to-do list item is a system, because we get so busy in doing all the things that it's obvious, but we're not going into our website. But if we don't update it, people are going to come and it's like, is this person serious or are they scatterbrained idiots?
Yeah. and there's, a lot of times people will say, oh, well, the website, if you just, doesn't have to be super amazing, perfect. But at the same time, like you said, you want it to show that you're alive, that you're there. I did send out a reminder to all my members, too. I was like, make sure you update. Everybody has a profile. So I'm like, if there's anything that you want to advertise for Valentine's Day is coming up, Easter's coming up, anything special for that, make sure that's available as something that somebody can look and say, ooh, I'd like to buy something like that.
Well,
So,
yeah, I love that. So you go through your profiles and make sure it's updated. But here's the other thing: any marketing communication. So if you've got existing clients, do you on your email signature, and everybody should have
oh, did I lose you?
big thing is like Valentine's. Hey, do you want to get something for Valentine's that's different, or Easter, or Mother's Day is coming up, and like you said, if it's a custom thing, it takes time to do it. Are you updating those things so that people can see it? And this is all like systems that you go, okay, here's my habits, but then looking at your calendar going, okay, we made it through Christmas and New Year's. Now we need to start ripping on this stuff. And okay, so these are the places where I'm marketing and I'm touching people. Have I updated my Instagram? Have I updated my Facebook? Have I updated my Pinterest? Now have I updated my email signature? So literally you're going check, check, check. That's a business system. Yeah. And these are they're not complicated things, but these are lifesavers. And one of the things that's so beautiful, because like you said, most people are technicians. They don't have the business stuff. It is really easy to put yourself high and above in people's attention because you're paying attention to the things that nobody else is. It's so easy to stand out.
Right. And that's exactly it. Like, so you had mentioned earlier, like, are you paying attention to your customers? That's another big system. You know, where are your leads? Who are people that have already bought from you? And following up, I feel like a lot of artists.
With the people that have already bought from you. How are you helping them with more problems? And here's a big one. How are you getting referrals from their world, their friends, their families, their coworkers, their colleagues?
Exactly. It's so perfect. Because that's another thing is I feel like, you know, a lot of times artists, not all the time, but sometimes they deal with a little bit of confidence where they're like, oh, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to follow up. I don't want to interfere with their life. You can do it in a way that's not like a used car salesman. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like that. You can follow up. And so following up, hey, go ahead.
And you also want to make sure, like, you don't have to do it in a spammy way.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that drives me nuts, like I'll sign up for somebody's thing, and they'll send me like 3 freaking emails a day. I'm going, I don't want 3 emails. Like, send me out little things, like I want to be seen, and I will give you a hint that's absolutely a game changer.
Okay.
Cards.
Yes, mailing cards, physical cards, right?
Mailing physical cards. And as artists, you can create the card. So I've been using send out cards for years and years and years. And I create all my own cards. But as artists, you can make your cards, like your artwork can go on your cards. Because what do you get in the mail?
I did that already. I can't, and I wish I'm shooting myself in the foot right now. I had hired Tia, who's on Crafter, to do a watercolor. And then I have the watercolor here for Christmas. And I mailed out Christmas cards because I took the digital picture of this and sent it out to all my customers and all my members. So people don't do that anymore.
I send 5 cards a day, every single day. And I have my list where I'm going through. So typically every 6 to 8 weeks, I am touching on people. And you can, all you have to do is
all the time.
All the time.
Holidays?
And you can Google like fun holidays, and they have like there's all sorts of. And so you find the ones that are appropriate for you. So Christmas is a big one, but like I've sent them out for like Houseplant Appreciation Day, Groundhog Day, the whole thing. And people I have so many people, they'll share it on Instagram and Facebook. I got this great card, and any opportunity to say thank you sincerely, because people get bills and garbage in the mail. When you send them, and I'll put like little bits, like facts about Houseplant. They're going, I have people send me messages going, you know what? I love getting your cards. I never know when they're going to come, but they always make me smile, and they think.
Oh, good. I love that.
And it keeps you in front of people. And I've been doing it for years, and I've literally had 2 people say, please, no, don't send them to me. I'm going, that's fine. You're weird, whatever. I don't care. It's not a problem. I'll take you off the list. But there's so many people going, I got the mail today, and it just made me smile. I get so many referrals and stuff out of it because it's a positive, non-interfering touch point, but it's a system that I've created and used for years.
Yeah, that's great advice. So I know, speaking of, you said you called it non-interfering, or there's different ways that you can label different ways to get in front of people, and I'm drawing a blank now. But yeah, there's like more aggressive ways where you like get their attention right away, like, hey, I'm in your inbox, like I want you to buy something. And then there's more like you're saying, more casual ways of being like, hey, don't forget I exist.
There's being a pushy salesperson, and then there's relationship building.
Yeah.
There's relationship building.
Right.
And when I'm doing my stuff, I'm not going, well, I have a few clients that I have to remind them that, okay, we need to get this done, and I will put that in like the PS. But I'm just going, I was thinking of you, here it was, and I have ones like, if I know what their interests are. So, for example, I've got a client, she absolutely loves penguins. So, Penguin Awareness Day comes up, she gets the penguin card.
I love that. That is so good.
Or, so like I said, if they're into golf, like I said, I pay attention to what their interests are. Yeah. And like I said, when I see something that's interesting, or if I'll see something on Facebook or Instagram and I know it's something that they're going to be interested in, I send it to them. And it just shows that, you know what, I care about you as a person. Yeah. And you have to be sincere about it. This is not trickery. This is not manipulation. But we do business with people we know, like, and trust. Yeah. And having the systems to remember that stuff and be aware makes it easier for us to build and maintain those relationships. Right, because if you keep everything in your head, it leaks.
Right, exactly. and I like that, because I have lists of people that I've talked to, or, you know, you keep a list of people so that, like you said, you don't forget. Yep. But I love asking people about them, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's why I made my business, right? I want to make people happy. They get artwork that makes them smile. Seeing them smile makes me happy. So it's like, living vicariously through them, right? So knowing little facts about people like that does make a huge difference. It makes them feel important, you know, like they matter, and they do. And they make a huge difference, not only in my life, but in the artist's life, which I try to stress to all my customers too. Is I'm like, you're not just making me happy, you're making the freelancer artist that you've hired super happy.
One of the joys of being in business for yourself is, and this is what I'm 1,000% unemployable. I could not have a job ever again. Wouldn't work, because I only work with people I like. Yeah. Only work with people I like. If you're a jackass, we're not having anything to do with one another. Right. And that's my prerogative. But talking about systems, creating your database. Your database is the biggest system you need to have, and that's where you keep the information on your clients, their purchasing history, the nice little touches so that you can talk about them. So my background is actually financial services. I've been in financial services for over 30 years now. So we get really personal with our clients.
Yes, very much.
So keep a ton of information. But I had people decide to do business with me rather than like the 6 other agents they were interviewing, because of how their dog responded to me, and the fact that when I visit them, I'd ask them how's the dog doing, and remembering that stuff. And yes, you have to be technically good at what you're doing, but it's about, like you said, it's about the relationship.
It's about human connection. Yeah, you want to be a human being. Yes. You don't want to forget.
You want to be a human being, an organized human being, so that, okay, you're going, I can remember what kind of dog, or I remember the face. What's the name?
Yeah. So I'm terrible with names.
Your database is where you keep that information, and then, okay, well, I'm going to be talking with Jenny today, so I'm just going to do a quick read to refresh me, so that I'm not putting my foot in my mouth or any of this stuff, or I'm remembering, like, there's like dog days and cat days and all of this stuff, so that I'm going, okay, I'm making sure that I'm reaching out on dog day, because their fur babies is the most important thing in the world.
And who doesn't love their pets? I mean, seriously. So that's definitely a big one. Yeah. You know, because not everyone's good with animals. Usually if animals don't like you, though, I worry about...
there's lots of, if people don't like you, I'll question. But if my dog or my cat doesn't like you, the friendly one at least,
yeah,
they're usually right. There's a reason.
yeah. I usually get kind of like sketch on those people where I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah.
So having your database or your CRM, your customer relationship management system, and there's so many of them. You don't have to go out and buy one right away. I say, you know what? Start off with creating like a spreadsheet, an Excel or a Google sheet.
Yeah, and just use it.
What is the information you want to keep? But the basic stuff, basic contact information, like that's the beginning. And then if it's appropriate, like birth dates or anniversaries and hobbies and interests and whatever is appropriate to your relationship with them, and play with it that way for a little bit. And then once you've got it figured out, then you can look at, okay, what is going to be the best automated system to help me work with this?
Yeah.
And then making sure, here's the important thing, making sure you have it in your in your time schedule, your system, to update the information.
Yeah. Or to remind you to do whatever action you have to do, because that's the one thing I want to do this year is have reminders that pop up and say, you should be doing this now. I do that with my taxes for sure, because I have to do sales tax quarterly and it's a pain in my butt.
Yep.
I'm good at it. I finally can do it fine.
But it took a little while to get it set up, didn't it? But once you have it set up, then it's like...
Well, now I have, like I said, an Excel spreadsheet for all my sales taxes, which is like, that took me a minute. I had to work with my, I have an accountant and I have a tax guy. They've been my best friends, because let me tell you, when that is a field I don't know. You know what I mean? Yep. So they've been my buddies. I went ahead and I made an Excel spreadsheet. Well, the first year it was a little bit, I got it done. It was right, but I had to have them help me and check it. And then the second time I did it, and I was like, wait, and then I added some more systems in place, and I'm like, let me just make sure this is right. So that changed how things were. And finally, I was like, why do I do this every quarter? And I put all these notes, and I'm like, I'm just kicking myself every time I do this, because I would do it, be in it, figure it out, and then I'd forget it. And I'm like, I am going to remember, and months later, I'm going to go back in and go, why didn't I just leave myself a note and help myself out? Well, but this time I got it done the fastest I've ever done it, which I was very proud of myself for. But like you said, until you get a system down.
Well, and sometimes you go, you know what, I need to do this. So you start doing something. And then as you get doing it, well, then you're going, well, you know what? Next time, this would be so much better if I did this. So then you can do it. And then, okay, I can improve it here and I can do that. Like I said, I've been improving my systems for 30 years. Right. Like some of them are pretty close to what I started with, because it's simple. But there's a lot of them, like I said, it's grown and it's evolved. And as things change with technology, like when I first started doing like separate business consulting and stuff like that, I would do a paper invoice. I would email it to people. They'd have to send me back via check and stuff. Well, now as things have changed, well, now I can do EFT transfers, and then I got it set up so it's just PayPal, and people get automatically billed, and the money shows up, and I love it.
I love that. Yeah, I've used PayPal for automatically sending out any kind of bills for live art showings, but then I do ACH transfers for when I pay artists through QuickBooks. Yep. So that has worked really well, because you don't get feed every time. Yes. Because if you pay people with PayPal, they fee you like crazy. And so I'm trying to avoid that, so I don't have to have people. Well, and that's
also, like you said, so this is why I say, like, looking at your financials, and you're going, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, I've been using PayPal, and I'm looking, let's see how much, okay, is there a better option for me that's going to be able to do? But asking those questions, where if you're just going, no, I don't want to look at it, I'm going to avoid it, well, how much are you slowly bleeding? And if there's a better option, and then, like you said, you talk to other people. Like when I was going through, I looked at a bunch of different things, and I'm going, there's pros and cons and stuff, and is PayPal the best? Maybe, maybe not, but for right now, for me, it's working. Yeah. And it's simple. And it saved me so much time, and people but I'm going, is it what I'm going to be using 2 years from now? Maybe, maybe not.
Right. And that's smart, because when I first started my business, I researched, what are they, payment gateways, I think is what they call it. All the payment gateways, all of them. I did so much homework. And like you said, there's pros and cons. Is PayPal the best? I don't know if I can say that, but I know it has the brand recognition. People trust it. They don't like, there's that like, yeah, so that's kind of where I ended up. And a lot of them, you got to be real careful and do your homework. And it's not meant to be, how do I put this? People can get very stressed when it comes to money for good reason. I don't want to downplay it, but you don't want to just shut down and pick the easiest thing, because you want to make sure you're not doing yourself a disservice in your business. You want to make sure that you're picking
this is
the right
also
thing.
Another system is making sure that you are having regular conversations with your bookkeeper and your accountant, because your bookkeeper is dealing with that stuff all the time. And you can go, well, what are some of your other clients using? What are their pros and cons? And then here's the other thing, paying attention to, okay, just because this program is good for you now and all of this stuff is it still. So for example, like a big one, social media schedulers. I just went through and did a whole bunch of research on this stuff again, because I have been using Hootsuite for years, and it was fine, but then, and it was very affordable, and then they automatically changed my account from a monthly billing to an annual. Minor annoyance, but I'm going, okay, I'll deal with it. But a year and a half ago, they decided to give themselves a 450% raise and not tell anybody. So what I pay mine through PayPal, not directly through my credit card, because I like the additional bit of protection. And whenever I have a bill go to PayPal, I get an email, and I'm going, what do you mean PayPal just took like $900 out of my account? Are you freaking kidding me?
No warning, no nothing?
I got that shut down right away, but they're saying I got it through PayPal, but they have it so that you can't cancel. So if you've made the mistake of paying them, they've got your money you can cancel right away, but they're not going to give you your money back. So you have to, I have clients that I've warned them, but because it comes out of their credit card, so they didn't catch it in advance. Now they've got it bookmarked. So I'm going, you have to watch those things, or okay, this platform was to begin with, but now they've improved and all of this stuff, so it's okay, I could be moving to that. But this is like, you want to be I typically say, okay, once a year for my personal finance clients, you need to be doing what I call a financial day, where you're going through all of your stuff, but you need to do that with your business. And I say, pull out your bills. And there's so many stuff that's an automatic subscription. Pull out your credit card and going, there's people, when I sit down with them, we do the business financials or the personal, they're going, what is this $15 a month charge that I've been doing? I can't even remember what this is anymore. I'm not using it, so I'm still paying for it. So you have a day once a year where, like, you're pulling out your phone, like, what am I using?
What am I paying for?
Is it still appropriate? Like, for years, I had a toll-free number, and for a few years, it was useful, but then I was looking at it, like about 2 years ago, and I'm going, I haven't gotten a call on my toll-free number, because everybody has cell phone plans and stuff where it's North America free calling. So why would I be paying for like $20 a month for a toll-free number that's no use to me anymore? So,
and that's exactly it. Is you, especially when you first are starting your business, you want to say, is this a want or a need? Like, is this something I really have to have right now to have my business function? And then, because that was one thing I remember, I talked to my lawyer about something along the lines, and I said, well, do I need this, and do I want this, or do I like and he was like, I'm happy you're asking these questions, because so many people will dump a ton of money into a business. They have the money for it, they dump it all in, don't know what they're doing, and they waste it all because they don't really know what they need or don't need. And also, to add to what you were saying, you can look at something and say, this is beneficial now, but then a year or two down the road, there might be either something better, or there's been so much changes in what you originally invested in that you're going to want to switch to something different for it to be more helpful for you at where you are in that point of your life.
So I got, like I said, I got rid of my toll-free number, and I got the paid Zoom account, because for me, that is, I use Zoom for everything and all of that. So you go through and it's like, okay, is this still appropriate for me now? And what's appropriate for you now, technology-wise, and where you are in your business? Is that still going to be the same stuff 2 years from now, or even just next year? But you have to have the system where I'm actually going to take a look at it, because otherwise, once again, we blink and how much time has gone by.
Yeah. You have to be careful, too, just a side note on the schedulers, because I was looking into those as well. I've learned, and again, this is something that I haven't tested yet, but I plan on it, is that if you use schedulers for multiple platforms, that your reach isn't as good as if you were to manually put it in yourself. Now, I know not everyone on the planet has all day to be on their phones on every single platform. Because I was worried, there's Instagram and Facebook will connect, right? So you can use Meta Business Suite and schedule out to both. And then there's other ones that I haven't researched them all yet, but there are other schedulers that will post on even more for you, which I would love to do that and just batch content and just be done, because people don't, it's so much work to post every day, everywhere. I was one of those people that you're like, focus on 3. Yeah, okay. I didn't do that. I'm everywhere. Part of me is thankful I'm a little bit everywhere, only because when Instagram's reach plummeted, I don't know how often you're on Instagram, but Instagram has, in the last month or two, because they switched privacy settings to, or not privacy settings, excuse me, they changed the settings to be, okay, show to everybody, to I really want to see more of people I follow, not random accounts. And so everyone's accounts, all their profiles, huge drop in reach. So everyone's freaking out, like, what am I doing wrong? How is this happening? Meanwhile, I look at my other accounts that I post not as frequently, but I still post, and those are going up.
Yep.
And so I'm like, thank God I wasn't just on this one.
It's always changing, like, and you have no control. And here's another one. I cannot stress this enough. Social media is for connecting with people in the first place. But if that is your only connection with them, you have nothing. Because like you said, they can change the rules or whatever, or you've been banned for whatever reason, and you've lost all of that. What is your system for taking your connections that you've gotten through Facebook or Instagram and all of this stuff to collect their email address so that you own that? That goes into your database, that they go into your email, because if you don't have that, you don't have squat. They belong to Instagram. They belong to Facebook. You belong to Instagram and Facebook. If you don't have their email, their contact on your system, you have nothing.
I made the mistake of using a company. It wasn't Linktree. It was Linkjoy.
Oh, okay.
And I use Linkjoy for all, you have all your links. So here's where I'm in the media. Here's where you can find my website. Here's some testimonials. Here, just all the things, right? I was like, great, I love this, fantastic. Posted it on Facebook. One day, log on, 60 plus of my posts deleted, gone. I go, what on earth happened? They had flagged anything with a Linkjoy website as spam, and decided that because Linkjoy wasn't strict enough with people who were scamming people, that anything related to Linkjoy was no longer allowed. And so that content was gone. So that's why I stress to people, hey, you want to be friends? You want to be buddies? Sign up to my email, please. Because you never know when you get your account taken down, if something goes wrong.
Yeah, and you have no idea. You just lost that. Mm-hmm. I come across, especially in the artistic community, they're going, I was working with one, a very successful, like, private musician, like and he had, I think, like 25,000 followers through his Instagram. That's how he did all his marketing. I'm going, how many of those do you have as emails? Nothing. Well, I do it all on Instagram. Would you like me to tell you about all these huge accounts that Instagram shut down for whatever reason? And they lost
your account. Yeah. It's gone. I had earlier this year, I had a duplicate account pop up and pretended they were me. They literally stole all of my pictures, everything. In their bio, they said, don't interact with the old account. They hacked me. That's a fake account. Everyone that I was messaging saying, don't join this, was like, well, we don't know if who's right. And I go, oh, my God. So I did stories on my Instagram and was like, can't fake this. Yep. This is my face. Thank God. And that was and it took about 24 hours for Instagram to get rid of it, because what they're doing was they were fishing for passwords for other accounts to have.
Yeah, exactly.
I would never ask anyone for their password.
But people, I know you, I like you, I trust you, and dear, we all have blonde moments.
Right. Right. So, it's tough. it's tough out there. So I usually try to tell people that's why I made my own platform for Crafter, for people to do their online commissions, because I can have control of that. I can keep that safe. I know what's going on. If you know, like, and it's not like a lot of people use Facebook groups, and I'm incredibly hesitant to use Facebook groups because for the same reasons. If they decide to shut it down,
They own it. You don't.
I don't own it. Yeah.
So I always say social media is fabulous for, like I said, expanding your reach, meeting new people, but you need to bring them into the world that you control.
Yeah, yeah. Because otherwise you just don't know. It's a risk. It's a very high risk. So we've talked about, let me see, we've talked about all different types of systems. We said use your calendar. We said, you know, having alerts go off on you know, reminders, following up with leads. I'm trying to think of just a recap of everything. There are a lot of
different. A lot of stuff today.
We did.
We got over a lot.
Yeah. I know there are different systems that I've debated doing. There's like a business system for like text messages, like texting people that you know, reminders and follow-ups, just like you said. I haven't done that yet. That's something I'm considering doing. You have your email business system. You could do a DM funnel. I haven't done that either. Like, I know there's a lot of like keywords you can do and like questions. Haven't really done that yet. I should. So there's just there's a lot of different options. List. Yeah, it's on the to-do list we talked about. Yeah. So there's just a lot of ways that you can make sure that you have reminders. So I do think the first step is really important to say, okay, what are my habits? What am I already doing? And how can I enhance that, make it better? I think that's really.
And then what is the next thing? Because it's never okay. I'm now done. I never have to worry about systems again. Like I said, it's always growing and evolving. But if you're asking yourself actively the question, how can I make my business, the business side better? Like, yes, you need to look at, like, you need to have the quality art or the quality product or service. But I'm talking about how can I make my business better? Or do I need to be bringing in a VA? What skill sets do I need? Do I need to be looking at exchanging technology or adding it or whatever? But you need to have regular time, and I'm a big fan of once a week where we just sit down for like 15 minutes, half an hour, and we take a look at our business or we think about it and go, what can I do to improve this?
Yeah. No, that's completely doable to do that. Especially once a week. So awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about or share before
there's lots we could talk about, but that would take a few hours and I do have to go. So.
Well, we can always do another one of these. So if you enjoy doing this, I'm always open to that.
I would love to help out your community. Like I said, this is what I do. This is my art.
Yeah, absolutely. And Christy's saying we need a Crafter Discord. Christy, I have considered that. But I worry that most of the members on Crafter are on Instagram, and I don't know how they'd feel about going to another app. That I think Discord's wonderful. I use Discord for a lot of other things, but I have not used it for my business. So have you used Discord before? Do you know what app I'm talking about?
I've heard of it, but I know nothing. Like, there's so many out there.
So Discord is essentially an app that you can do same kind of idea where you can do it's like a forum, and you can have menus, and you can have video chats or calls, or you can have streams. So it has all of the kind of elements that a social media platform would have. You don't have a profile. So there's no actual profile. It's more of a community of people that are all talking. So I like that idea for my members because I can say, if you're new, if you're looking for help on something, if you want to talk about your newest, art commission that you're working on, or show us your works in progress or whatever, I like that. I think that'd be great. I just wonder, I'll have to ask all my members what they want. That's another thing. Ask people what they want sometimes.
Yep. Well, and
sometimes what you want isn't what they want.
No. Exactly, and you can be introduced to all sorts of different things, but I'm just going, just pick something, and you can't. And if you try to be everything to everybody, you're just going to burn out.
Yeah.
Just pick something. And I'm going, well, people, what was the big audio only thing that came out like a year or so ago that was huge?
Audio only.
I'm trying to to remember. I'm having a brain fart on what it was called, but that was
Wait, it was an app. It was only voice.
Only voice, and you had to be invited to it, and they would have like rooms and stuff. I'm like I said, I know what it is. I'm just having a brain fart, and that was absolutely huge. And people say, "Oh, you need to get into this," and I'm going, "Well, I could. It would probably be awesome, but do I have the energy?"
Yeah.
Do I have the energy?
Yeah. And that's at the end of the day, it's like when you're trying to help people and you say, here's just one more thing. Sometimes they just don't want one more thing. They just want it, as easy as possible.
The things I already have.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still working on the things you've given me. You're giving me more stuff. So just got to be careful on that. But yeah, that I considered that because I trust Discord a lot more than Facebook.
Yeah.
A lot more. So that would be a challenge to see.
Well, yeah, there's trust, but Facebook and Instagram, because they're both owned by Meta, have tons of problems. But the thing is, they're the big boy.
Yeah.
That's where everybody is. That's the reach. Yep. And there's things like, okay, if I do want to move to Discord because I trust them more, how can I move people?
Sorry, my daughter's gonna bomb my live. Oh, let me get you a tissue, baby. Hold on. She's not feeling good, so she's come over to say hello. All right, you want to say hi real quick?
Hello.
Oh, she doesn't feel good. You can say hi really fast. Hi, you can be part of my life. She doesn't feel good. We're all dealing with colds.
I remember that page. I remember that page.
Yeah, so we're all dealing with lots of tissues and everything else, but all right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on live today. Oh, Cam says, please send me a video or a reply when you're done. Oh, got a student at 1. Okay, so I'll talk to you later, Cam. All right, so I really appreciate you talking to us about business systems, and it's so important just to get into a routine of like, this isn't scary, it's not overwhelming if I do a little bit every week.
Yeah,
and
that's, drip.
Yes, and over time you'll see, get the rewards of it.
Well, ask your wonderful daughter, how do you eat an elephant?
How do you eat an elephant? Do you know?
One little bite at a time.
One bite at a time. I was going to say a little bit at a time, but one bite at a time, yeah.
One bite at a time.
Little bit. And everyone's in the same boat. So it's okay, right?
All right. Well, have a wonderful day, my dear.
You too. Thanks so much again. I really appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. I'll be tagging Tammy in the description if you want to give her a follow. And I'll also be posting the replay on YouTube. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Excellent. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.